G'day everybody, I'm the Red Scar, this is Red Scar Gaming. Today's the summary of my 7th draft with Murders at Karlov Manor. I played an Izzet control deck, was sort of what I tried to do, though apparently I didn't do a very good job of it, because I lost 3 games and only won 2. Look, maybe my opponents just sort of happened to, stars align, do very well. I know one of the game 4, was it? Yeah, game 4. My opponent just absolutely smashed me, and good on you. He did very well. But yeah, I'm ultimately disappointed with this. I know that as a control deck, it wasn't as control-y as it could have been, but it's a draft, so I'll settle for that. As far as curve is concerned, I did probably go a little bit too mana cost heavy, which, like, I know a lot of control decks are sort of everything's either 2 or 6 mana cost anyway, but yeah, anyway, let's talk about each card. Shock, I didn't actually draw that entire time, which is slightly disappointing, and I'm sure there would have been a use for it, but yeah, I just didn't draw it. I'll still draft it next time though, in a similar situation. Bubble Smuggler, and in fact most of the 2 mana cost cards I have multiples of, so it was pretty reliable on my early game how that played out, which I suppose was good. But yeah, Bubble Smuggler, I never got to transform him, which, fair enough, that happens. I'm still happy with him, generally speaking, as a card. There's maybe some other way I should have selected a different card, maybe, instead of Bubble Smuggler, whether it's something that was, say, 3 mana or something like that. But it's a pretty generally useful card, sort of regardless of what the situation is, though. Jaded Analyst, considering I have 3 of them, I don't think I played him as much as I probably wanted to. I'm still pretty happy with him as far as his ability to defend all the time, basically, and still, when he does attack, he still has vigilance, so you can attack with him sometimes pretty effectively and still block. In this particular case, I was sort of hoping that I could use Jaded Analyst, as one of my opponent's creatures attacks, and I block with that, sacking, and they both die, sort of thing. I don't mind in this particular deck using him like that, but I didn't get the opportunity as much as I probably wanted to. Reasonable Doubt, I did get some use out of that, particularly game 3, if I'm remembering correctly. It is certainly a good card in, even the first sort of 5, 6, 7 turns. When you time it right, it can be very effective. I probably didn't get as good use out of it this draft as I wanted to, but look, it's just I drew the wrong cards or something. Demand Answers, I only got to play once, and in that particular case, I'd sort of already lost that game anyway, but yeah, I needed to draw something. In this case, Demand Answers probably wasn't really the card I needed, but I can't really think of anything off the top of my head that I should have drafted instead. The Innocent Bystander, in a similar vein to Bubble Smuggler, it's sort of one of those cards I don't mind sacking, chump blocking with anyway, especially if it's a big creature, because it does have that benefit of you get to investigate, which is good. Though in this deck, maybe I shouldn't have taken him, but yeah, I'll talk a bit more about it when we look at the cards I didn't have in my deck. Gleaming Geardrake, even when I drafted it, I said that it's probably not terribly well suited to this deck, but I do need some flying, so he's sort of the only thing I could really go with at the time. Though yeah, in hindsight, I maybe shouldn't have drafted him. Projector Inspector, I've seen a lot of people have a lot more success with him than I certainly did this time. I think I only played him once, and my opponent destroyed him pretty much straight away anyway, probably because he can be very effective, which I suppose in that sense is to drag it a little bit too far. It sort of stopped my opponent from doing other things. Is maybe the way to phrase that. But yeah, it's in that sense it's a little bit controlly, but it didn't do as well as I'd hoped in the long run. But maybe that's because I lost 3 games rather than winning 8. But anyway, that's right. Gearbane Orangutan. Still happy with that. It's, as I've said several times, it's one of those sort of cards that I'll probably take 1 every time. I don't think I'll take 2 though, without at least building around that sort of thing. Surveillance Monitor. Didn't get to use as effectively as I'd hoped, though I suppose I knew from the start that I wasn't going to collect evidence every turn. It wasn't my win con. But yeah, he's good. Though I got to keep in mind that at least just pure stat wise, he is the biggest creature in this deck. So maybe I should have even relied on him a bit more, or had something that made him not the biggest creature in this deck. So yeah, maybe in that sense it was an error to take him. But yeah, look, we'll talk about that a bit later. Sudden Setback I didn't get to use. I did draw at some stage, but if memory serves, I didn't even have the second blue at the time. Just bad luck, I suppose. It would have been good, and it is a pretty damn good example of a counterspell, which I suppose in this case would make 4 counterspells ultimately. I just didn't get a chance to use it. I probably would only draft it for a control / tempo deck, and whether this was what I should have, this is the deck that I should have put it in, is definitely up for the questioning. Gadget Technician, he's probably in this deck he didn't do terribly well. I know that a 4 mana cost anything with 2 toughness is not great. And look, we're in a draft, so we're not we don't have to aim too high, but he is a bit more on the wide sense. I suppose this deck in general went wider than my opponent normally did, though last game, wasn't it? My opponent went very wide very well and absolutely smashed me, so yeah, good work on that one. But yeah, Gadget Technician was the sort of card that is there to go wide, I suppose is the way to phrase that. Caught Red-Handed, the few times I have used that, it can be damn effective, but I just think in this particular draft, I didn't get to use it at the right time, at the very least. I know there were several opportunities that I could have played it, but with the power of hindsight, I'm glad I didn't in that particular case. But yeah, I'd keep it again. It's probably not really a control deck card in this sense. Probably more focused on the tempo, but I suppose maybe from that conclusion I should go control or tempo, not both, which is sort of what I tried to do a little bit here. And maybe in that sense I should have not taken Caught Red-Handed, but yeah, we'll see what I got in my sideboard. Bolrak Clanbasher, I generally speaking am pretty big fan of just something that's big dumb. Bolrak Clanbasher can be very dangerous, but I think in this particular sense I needed something a bit bigger. I forget the name of that card just off the top of my head, but the 5/5 that when he attacks can make himself suspected. That's just big dumb creature, and I think I probably needed him. In fact, I think I even had the opportunity to draft him. I just didn't at the time. So I suppose that's a mistake in this sense, though it might just be against my particular opponent. He didn't do very well. As far as lanes are concerned, yeah, that's how it should have gone. Behind the Mask, I talked a little bit about it while I was It's it's maybe one of the cards that I should have kept. I know that in the draft I basically said, oh look, it's the controlling side of it I have to pay evidence 6 for, which maybe I could have done a bit more often, but I suppose what would I have taken out for it? Maybe Gleaming Gear Drake and Caught Red-Handed, or maybe a Bolrat Clan Basher, maybe. The target I would have had for my creature of that, turning into a 4/3 I mean, would have been, say, something from Gadget Technician or Surveillance Monitor. I suppose even Gleaming Gear Drake would have been able to use it. Not as effectively maybe, but yeah, it's certainly a useful card in its circumstance. Benthic Criminologist, it's good. I very much don't think I would have had the opportunity to sacrifice artifacts enough, so I'm glad I dropped him. Though maybe he would have been more effective than Bolrat Clan Basher, as I was saying before about just a big dumb creature. I did for a while go with black as the control aspect. Maybe I could have gone with that. Just having a quick think. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards at the very least that I would have gone in that sense. So I suppose I would have dropped, say, maybe Glowing Gear Drake, 1 Jetted Analyst, maybe even 2 Bubble Smugglers, 4, Murder, 2 Cerebral Confiscation, and Unscrupulous Agent. Though Unscrupulous Agent, after you cast him, is just a chump blocker, which Bubble Smuggler is not. Innocent Bystander is ever so slightly better at it, but yeah, I can see the difference between those two. Cerebral Confiscation is good in the right circumstances. I think, and I'm just thinking off the top of my head, most of the players that beat me tended to have a fair few cards in hand. So maybe in that particular case it wouldn't have worked that well. Though I suppose I could have chosen a non-land card from their hands to get rid of their win con. Yeah, though nothing's and look, my memory's not perfect, but nothing's jumping out at me as far as yes, I should have gone with that card and used it against in this situation. But yeah, that's just to think about that one a bit longer. Murder, if I had gone black, is definitely one of the cards I would have picked. Just because, I mean, it's destroy target creature. It's though, yeah, actually thinking about that even further though, there's not many opportunities where there was sort of one creature that was beating me. It was generally my opponent was just going wide. It wasn't so much that he was attacking with a big creature. It's just that he attacked with the right creature. So I suppose Murder, in that sense, wouldn't have been particularly good. Though maybe that's just bad luck. Basilica Stalker, I did drop him pretty quickly actually. Maybe he would have been the sort of idea instead of Bolrat Clan Basher, partly because of the flying. He is a little bit more defensive, and he does do the whole gain life thing, which, yeah, I don't think would have helped too much in that particular sense, but yeah, anyway. Knife. Yeah, Knife I'm not a huge fan of in this sort of deck anyway. It certainly has moments, like sack it, draw a card, and the whole first strike thing, but I don't think I'm disappointed by not taking it. The chase is on. I'm sure there's the odd opportunity that I could have used that particularly well, but maybe Sudden Setback would have been the card I dropped to take it, maybe. And I suppose I would have had the clue that I could have sacked with Gear Drake or Orangutan or something like that. As far as green cards, because I've actually got a fair few now that I look at it like that. If I had gone, and yeah, look, I'm just sort of floating the idea. But if I had gone green, yeah, look, I wouldn't have gone Slime Against Humanity. As fun as the card is, it's just not. I did make some sort of joke about it in the draft, but yeah, I'd really like to draft it. It's just not going to happen. Airtight Alibi is a good combat trick in the right circumstance, and it makes that one creature pretty big. But I suppose I would have got rid of, say, Sudden Setback and used Fanatical Strength instead of maybe Shock. Maybe. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. So, yeah, there's a lot of cards in there that I suppose maybe in this sense, Innocent Bystander, Gleaming Gear Drake, and maybe even Bubble Smuggler just didn't perform as well as I wanted them to. Probably, with the power of hindsight, maybe I should have actually dropped a land for probably even just Behind the Mask and or Knife, because at least Knife would have given me some draw. Yeah, because my curve is pretty dang low, which, yeah, I was sort of hoping, like in the draft, that I would have a bit more opportunities to do Shock or Reasonable Doubt with that extra mana spare, and I do have those flips. So yeah, leave in the comments what you think about maybe should I have dropped a land. Yeah, I'd like to hear your opinion on that. But yeah, anyway, we'll see how I go with my next draft. But yeah, I wasn't terribly happy with that one. But as I said before, it might just be a little bit of bad luck and a little bit of good luck in my opponent's case. Especially that Rakdos aggro that I forget the name of the creature, but it was two 4/4 flying trample creatures that, yeah, I'm like, okay, that's ridiculously good luck. But anyway, he won fair and square. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.